Dutch, the most interesting character in Red Dead Redemption story, and in my opinion he is the real antagonist in Red Dead Redemption 2. In the last chapter we see Dutch as cruel, manipulative and extremely dangerous person, someone you should really be afraid of. True villain. But at the beginning of the story we see Dutch van der Linde as a different person, with a moral code, teacher, father. So what happened? What changed Dutch so dramatically? Well, there are four main theories. Dutch became crazy as a result of head injury during trolley depot robbery in Saint-Denis. Second one is that Micah changed Dutch. Next one is that constant failures got Dutch disappointed in his idealistic philosophy and he decided to become more pragmatic and instead of helping people started to, just using them. But there is another theory, the realistic one. Anyway, today we're gonna take a closer look on all these theories and decide which one makes the most sense.
It all makes sense now.
Let's begin with head injury theory. It's quite simple and the four pretty popular. In Saint-Denis, Dutch, Arthur and Lenny are robbing trolley depot because Angelo Bronte, local mobster, told Dutch that there will be a lot of money. It turns out that there is no money and it's a trap.
There's no stacks, a few dollars in coins, that's it.
Angelo Bronte decided to set Dutch up because Dutch rejected his proposition to make some kills. Anyway, when Gang is running away from police officers, trolley crashes and Dutch hits his head. Actually, during this mission, our attention is focused on this fact few times.
You alright, Dutch? I won't lie. I've been better, son. I don't feel so good. Now you just got a bash on the head.
And really, after this incident, Dutch's behavior is changing. It's almost like he becomes less confident. His voice is shaking and sounds a little bit differently. He lets Hosea to plan pretty important bank robbery, and usually he was making plans himself. But the most importantly is after this failed robbery, main characters are starting to talk about changes in Dutch's behavior. For example, here is what John Marston saying after Dutch kills Angelo Bronte.
Jesus. Part in your philosophy books cover feeding a fella to a goddamn alligator, Dutch. The part that covers weakness. That part. I don't know. Well, I do.
And later on Guarma, Arthur himself points our attention to this when Dutch kills Old Lady.
What was that?
Horrible old crone.
But you killed her.
She was gonna betray us, Arthur. Couldn't you tell?
No.
Well, I got some Spanish. She was.
You keep killing folk, Dutch.
So it really might look like head injury caused changes in Dutch's behavior. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Dutch got crazy. He maintains clarity of thought and his plan in chapter 6 is actually good. He's shamelessly using natives and not only them, but it's a good plan. So his behavior can be described as psychopathic and according to some researchers, it can be caused by brain injury. So overall it might look like a reasonable theory, but there is one big problem with it. We're gonna discuss it later when talking about realistic theory of what happened to Dutch. And now let's briefly discuss second popular theory. It's all Micah's fault. He is responsible for changes in Dutch's behavior. Micah Bell almost replaced Hosea after he was killed by Pinkertons. So logic here is pretty simple. Hosea had a lot of influence on Dutch, Micah replaced him and started to have the same amount of influence. Micah is a bad person, so he changed Dutch in a bad way. But there are a few problems. First of all, Micah's personality is nothing compared to Dutch's personality or to Hosea. He's just a casual bandit. True bandit, but still, unlike with Dutch, there is nothing special or interesting or significant about Micah, and therefore he has no real influence on Dutch. Yes, Micah does a lot of work, he even helps Dutch to plan his operations, but Dutch listens to Micah's opinion only when he had the same opinion in the first place, like for example here.
Son, without John, she's just bait. Got a bunch of money, Dutch. She's just a girl. They won't do nothing to her. But me and the boys know. We need to keep riding on this one, Dutch. You know it. Every man here knows
We
it.
just gonna let the boy be made an orphan?
It ain't like that.
What is it like?
I want to live, cowpoke. I still got the choice. Dutch, it's just a girl.
You're right. Micah, it pains me to say it, Arthur, but he's right.
Dutch definitely wasn't considering saving Abigail in the first place, because it's an obvious trap, because John and Abigail were not loyal, because he don't care about Abigail anyway, and he has money already. So let's say it was his plan in the first place, not to go after Abigail, and it doesn't matter what Micah is saying here. And when Dutch has different opinion than Micah on something, for example about going back for Blackwater money, he completely ignores his opinion and shows who's the boss.
That ain't happening.
So it's not only Micah had no influence on Dutch, situation was quite opposite. Take a look at what drunk Micah Bell is saying about Dutch and his plans.
A little calm down. We're gonna get going on business, boys. Good business. I got good ideas. Me and Dutch, we both have. We've talked about Australia. It's an amazing place. More land than you can imagine. We'll go someplace good. Dutch has got plans. Good plans. He has.
You see, previously Micah cared only about money, but now he's also dreaming about some promised land. Promised by Dutch. On the other hand, I can agree that after Hosea was killed by Agent Milton, Dutch has changed. Not because someone started to influence him, but rather because Hosea was not around, and he really had a huge impact on Dutch Wonderland.
Hosea.
And it actually leads us to the third theory. Dutch changed because he clearly saw world around him changing. Constant failures and heavy losses showed him that he should change as well. That there is no place for idealists anymore and he should adapt.
Ask my friend here. My whole life, I tried to fight change. It's a waste. I see that. Now, it's waste. You can't fight nature, Captain. You can't fight change.
And he's not the only one in the gang who sees how world is changing and how there is no place for them in this new world.
Our world's changing. Even I see that now. Our time is pretty much past. They don't want folk like us no more. This very rules will be damned with you. No more outlaws. No more killers. Now it's us being hunted. Oh, they ain't stopping. We went and made our choices a long time ago, so... I guess we gotta pay for our sins.
Oh, Arthur. What a sad world we live in.
Well, I ain't sad, Mary Beth. I'm just... realistic about what's coming. Keep thinking I should help folk, but... I don't know.
But Arthur changes different path to help people, while Dutch chooses path of manipulations, cruelty, greed and revenge. Personally, I really love this theory, because it gives Red Dead Redemption 2 story additional depth, complicity and creates a great antagonist. But there is also one problem with this theory. If we will take a closer look, we will see that at the beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2 story, Dutch is almost the same cruel, manipulative and selfish person. It's just we, player and Arthur Morgan, don't see it yet. Now let's compare two moments from second half of Red Dead Redemption 2 to moments from chapter 1. Very first mission. After saving Sadie Adler, Arthur finds an O'Driscoll and beats him out. And after getting all the information, Dutch is saying,
Well, I would say it looks like you have this, Arthur. Do what you want with him. I don't care.
So it's unnecessary to kill this O'Driscoll. With such heavy snow you don't have to be afraid that he will go back with reinforcements. But instead of saying something like, let him go Arthur, we don't kill people for no reason, it's against our philosophy, Dutch is just saying, kill him, I don't care. And it seems fine, there is no reaction like,
You keep killing folk, Dutch.
and by the way, let's take a closer look at the situation when it was said. On Gorma, Dutch is hiring this old lady to guide them through tunnels. He pays her and pays her good.
Dámelo.
Oh, it's genuine, you old hag.
Ay. Vamos. Vamos. Rápido.
Now that gold right there, that's the last bit of gold I have in my pocket from the bank. The rest of it is at the bottom of the sea. Exactly.
But when the job is done, she breaks an agreement and asks for more money.
This way.
Sí. Then you pay more.
Okay.
More.
As you can see, she had a knife and was pretty serious. And now please tell me, don't you think that she was more dangerous for the gang than O'Driscoll in the first mission? By asking for more money, especially after getting paid extremely well, she was basically threatening Dutch that she will make some noise and let soldiers around know that they are here. There is no need to know Spanish to understand that she's a threat. So this kill is more justified, but our reaction is completely different because our perception of Dutch has changed. Now even more interesting episode happens during train robbery.
Well done. Now would you get rid of all of this? The train? Yeah, get it out of here. What about them? What do you think? I don't know. It's up to you. Kill them, leave them here, take them with you on the train. Just make sure they don't send no folk after us.
He literally told Arthur that he can kill these unarmed guys who were just making their job, and everyone was absolutely okay with that. And now let's compare it to the situation with Angelo Bronte. He's definitely the most dangerous person in Saint Denis, and keeping him alive will be extremely risky. Not only because mafia and police will be looking for him, but also because he can seduce some gang members with money, like he tried to do here.
You don't even possess your own men. $1,000 to the man who kills him and sets me free.
What are you gonna say now?
As you can see, it didn't work out, but imagine Angelo Bronte making such offer one-on-one to Micah or Bill or maybe even Abigail at the camp. It's completely different situation.
It ain't nice. I know it. But it is us or him!
And it really is, unlike with the train robbery, there was no need to kill that guards. Some people say that John's reaction is more about how Dutch killed Bronte, but he was already dead when he threw his body to alligators. There is also an opinion that what shocks John and Arthur there is that it was obvious revenge. But again, in chapter 1, when we are talking O'Driscoll's camp, it's another act of revenge and quite obvious, but Dutch is just lying that it's not.
More than revenge for business long ago.
But the most terrible crime that was showing who Dutch really is happened right before the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, during Blackwater robbery, when Dutch killed an innocent girl.
Who are you? Do you remember Hattie McCourt's face? Who? She was a girl Dutch Vanderlyn shot in the head on that raid on the ferry a few years back. Same one you got shot on. Pretty girl, until her eye was hanging out by a thread of tendon and her brain was plastered over a wall.
We don't know what exactly happened here, but it seems like this murder was completely unjustified and shocked even the most loyal gang members like Javier.
Dutch killed a girl in a bad way.
But Arthur wasn't in Blackwater and he haven't seen this terrible crime. So for him, Dutch is still the same. But in reality, at the very beginning of Red Dead Redemption 2, Dutch was already a pretty terrible person, capable of doing terrible things. We don't know when and how exactly this transformation happened. Hopefully we will get answers in Red Dead Redemption 3, if this game will ever be released. But in Red Dead Redemption 2 story, Dutch is not changing from being a good person to evil. No, he's changing from being bad person to be even worse. And that was a realistic theory about what happened to Dutch in Red Dead Redemption 2. By the way, now on the screen you can see other Red Dead Redemption theories, like who was the real traitor and about Micah Bell. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters, to everyone who placed a like, stay safe, stay healthy, goodbye.